The 1980s were a peak time of peace, entertainment, and advertising. This was a fun decade, giving Americans a fresh of breath air. A huge relief was when the East and West made peace in Berlin. In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell along with communism. America, being very anti-communism in the Cold War, were very pleased with this event. The President of America was Ronald Reagan, who had a goal to change different aspects of money in the country. He came up with 4 policies: reduce the growth of government spending, reduce the marginal tax rates on income from both labor and capital, reduce regulations, and reduce inflation by controlling the growth of the money supply. Money was very important during the 80s because of the overwhelming consumerism and materialism. Having anything and everything valuable was everyone's mindset, from the new advertisements being promoted on television. New cable networks drew everyone to televisions where there were brand new entertainment and advertising. Popular networks that were watched were MTV, Disney Channel, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. These networks broadcast beloved television shows and sitcoms such as The Cosby Show, Dallas, Cheers, Miami Vice, Dynasty, and Knots Landing. Along with shows, blockbuster movies became an iconic part of the 1980s. The most popular are Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, E.T., The Terminator, The Breakfast Club, and The Goonies. Along with scrunchies, neons, and leather jackets, almost everyone wore a Walkman. Walkman would play music in headphones for you to listen to anywhere. Some of the most popular artists were Madonna, Michael Jackson, AC/DC, Toto, Queen, and Bon Jovi. The importance of this decade was the fall of communism, a new world of entertainment, and the start of many new pop culture. Did you attend high school?
83 through 87.
Did you enjoy high school? Why?
Not at the time,
Why?
because it was kind of a thing to complain about our high school.
All right.
There were things I liked.
So it wasn't fun, I guess.
Well, I feel like everybody liked to complain about it, but I really liked my friends, and I liked swimming, and I liked some of my classes, and I liked some of my teachers. But in general, if you would have asked me back then, I would have said,
No.
no, I can't wait to get out of here.
How would you describe yourself during high school? Like fashion, attitude, type of student, whatever.
I was a strong student. Usually got A's in my honors classes. Fashion. Uniform. Well, we did have to wear green pants because it was at West Catholic. So the fashion look was not very.
Well, what did you wear when you weren't in school?
Well, so basically we wore whatever we normally wear, but with green pants. So nothing ever matched or looked right. So like if I wanted to wear, one thing that was in were kind of like these long Angora, like fuzzy sweaters, mohair sweaters that were long and they'd have like designs on them. And then you normally would wear that with like kind of a legging, like today's leggings, but ours they were called stirrup pants, and they had actual stirrups that went under your feet to hold them in place, to hold them down. But then we wear green pants instead, and then you try to match your socks with your sweater.
How would you describe your classmates that weren't like you?
It's pretty much like I would imagine it is today. Like there were groups of kids that kind of would be, some were kind of what we called preppy. They would always have like the polo shirts and the, boat shoes, like Sperry shoes. A lot of those styles that are back now were in the 80s. So you had preppy kids, you had kind of like the stoner kids who would wear like the leather jackets, or a lot of kids wore members only jackets.
Or
Jean jackets, yeah. The cheerleader group you know, where it was like all the girls that wore a lot of makeup and they would always be wearing their cheerleading uniforms at school a lot, it seemed.
What was your most memorable moment from high school?
I would say probably probably something to do with swimming, because I really liked swimming, and we had a good team, and the girls on the team were my good friends. And so I'd probably just say being on swimming like junior and senior year, and borrowing our parents' cars and driving around, and like going to practice, and then going outside after practice with wet hair, and it would freeze right up. In the winter, it'd be all crunchy, and then we'd drive up to Mr. Burger and get like hot chocolate and sit in the booth and talk. And we didn't have cell phones, so we had to actually hang out together to talk to each other.
What was your favorite classes?
Oh, definitely science. My science classes were my favorite. My favorite teacher was Mr. Mulder. He was my science for biology and also for anatomy, physiology, and we got to do dissections, and he was just a really good science teacher. And my friend Linda Mack and I his classroom was right by our lockers, and we would sometimes just go eat lunch in his classroom and talk to him about science and life and things like that. We just thought he was a really neat person.
And what do you want people to know about high school in the 80s?
I don't know. I guess maybe I don't know what people think it was like compared to what I think it was like, or compared to how it is now. But I think it's probably pretty much the same. Like, people liked to be at school, they liked to hang out with their friends, they complained about having too much homework.
We didn't have computers.
No, we had to take a typing class, like actually type up papers and things, write them out by longhand. I think it was I think people were very much the same. I just think that's.
Was that a recession? Yeah, Ronald Reagan.
No, I don't think.
So the economy was good.
Yeah, I think actually it probably was easier then. Like, the cost of living wasn't as high, and you could actually have take a summer job and save up money and be able to go to college.